my name is Anne-Marie. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm your education officer for this year, and I will be your education officer for next year as well. Some things I've been working on in term 2 is hosting an amazing de-stress week with your wellbeing and sports officer. It was so great to see so many students, and I know that you've aced your exams. The next thing I was working on with the student body was getting the library to be 24/7. That was such a fun project, and it really showed how strong and powerful the student voice can be. So thank you to all who helped with that. Thanks to all your lovely feedback, I have been working with the university, and I've had my full input on how your assessments will be running next academic year. The next thing that I've been up to this term is working with the content warning working group to incorporate content warnings in your lectures, and so hopefully you will see those next semester. And the last thing I've been working on is, thanks to your feedback, we have been able to make the library service desk hours open for longer. Thanks for a great semester.
Hi, I'm Georgia. My pronouns are she, her, and I'm your outgoing sports officer. From the beginning of July, I will be handing over onto Archie Robinson, who will be your new sports officer. And here's what I've been up to this semester. So I've been working really hard behind the scenes, trying to develop a transgender and non-binary inclusion policy for sports. We noticed that there wasn't one currently within our policies, so wanted to try and develop one that is in line with Bucks. And also looking at the Bucks policy and trying to find ways that we can improve upon it to try and include as many people in sport as possible. I've also been looking at Be the Influence. It was our initiative at the beginning of the year to try and tackle club culture and inclusivity in sports clubs. We had a bunch of workshops in the first semester that were really successful, and we carried these on into the second. We've also been working on creating an accreditation scheme that sports clubs can work towards, just to try and make their clubs as inclusive as possible. We also have varsity this semester, which is a really successful event. We beat DMU once again. Lots of students turned out to support and to play, and it was a really great event. I also helped our president set up our International Women's Day brunch alongside the help of our staff team at the SU. Myself and Rhiannon also did podcasts for International Women's Week. I interviewed Danielle Brown, which it was a really exciting opportunity. We have a gym named after her, she's amazing, and so it was really great to be able to speak to her. Finally, I helped our activities and voice departments organise our activities and voice awards. This was our first in-person event since the pandemic, and we had a really successful night. 150 students came to celebrate with us. We gave out lots of awards, lots of food, and it was a great night all around. I've been really grateful for this opportunity to be your sports officer, so I can't thank you enough for voting me in last year. I've really enjoyed this year and everything that I've managed to do. It's been amazing, so I just wanted to say thank you and goodbye.
Hey everyone, my name is Nick, my pronouns are they, he, and I'm your liberation officer for this year and the next. Here are my semester wins. So, we had a very successful LGBTQ+ History Month. We had a collaborations with St Andrew's Gender Institute that went amazing. We looked at how contemporary television can intersect with gender and sexuality, and specifically something like Netflix algorithm and how it looks at queerness. It was really, really interesting talk. We had a conversation with Ben Peachy, who is an activist, and we spoke about the history of legislation within the UK and how that affects trans people. We also gave out loads of pins and lanyards, and we also did Rainbow Rave, which was my favourite thing at Less Disco. That was really, really great. We also had the Let's Decolonise Open Evening. That went amazing. Students came to learn about what decolonisation is, learn at ways in which they could get involved in the campaign, and ways in which they want to change the university. So that was amazing. We also did our Liberate the Library reading list, so now there is a reading list for our Let's Decolonise campaign, which can be found in my link tree on my Instagram and my other socials. I've also been starting to do LGBT training for residential advisors as well as staff, and I'm hoping in the next academic year we can continue to roll this out to more staff and more residential advisors. We put out a survey to look at the religious provisions that we have on campus, and we have found that it is not adequate enough for all of the religions that we have on campus. Therefore, we will be creating a working group to look at ways in which we can make sure we are catering to everyone's religions on campus. I've absolutely enjoyed my first term this year. There's been so many amazing campaigns and projects, and just working with the other SABs has been absolutely amazing, and I cannot wait for next year. There's going to be loads of exciting stuff for you guys.
Hi everyone, so this is Manoj, the Activities Officer from the Students' Union, and again my pronouns are he, him. So the semester wins for this semester. Obviously, as you know, the International Finish and Task Group has been established. So for this semester I had worked on it. So we had a number of meetings with the different people, and obviously successfully we conducted 2 focus groups. So we got a very quite big feedback. So at this point, so wrapping it up, so we are writing the report and giving it to the university and the executive board and see how they wanted to take the steps for the next academic year. Then the Careers Hub launch. As you all know, the Careers Hub has been launched recently, and it is in the PG building. They recruited the careers ambassadors, who are the students. Again, make use of the most, and they're wonderful and they can help you with it. And again, the last part is the SU complaints policy. So as you all know, the complaints policy is now in the SU website, and as everyone can have a look at it, and it will be updated when the SU changes its complaints policy and all sort of things. Yeah, so these are all my semester wins. Maybe from the next 2 days will be the last working in SU, and it has been such a nice working with all the students and all sort of things for the societies and all sort of things. It has nice working with you. See you soon. So I will be becoming a student again, so see you all in the class.
Hi everyone, my name is Kari Wagner, my pronouns are she, her, and I am your Wellbeing Officer. So here's my semester updates. I started off the year running De-Stress with Anne-Marie. After De-Stress, we had graduation week and I was on stage supporting all of the January graduations. After that, I did Sexual Violence Awareness Week. For Sexual Violence Awareness Week, I did the Express Yourself project, which you can still find on the gallery online for. Then we also did the Believe Survivors campaign, where loads of you wrote really nice and heartfelt messages for survivors. Thank you for that. Also, we did the Mythbuster, where we engaged in conversations and did some educating stuff around sexual violence with anyone who felt comfortable to do so. Thank you for all of the engaging conversations there as well. And I wrote a wonky article together with our campaigns coordinator Megan, which has been shared a lot on the internet, and we were basically talking about the work we have done at Leicester to become one of the leading universities when it comes to sexual violence education, and that could not have happened without all of you amazing students. So thank you so much for everyone who supported us to get to where we are right now. I also did a period cup stall. We gave out so many during that week, and yes, the period equality campaign is still going, and I'm still getting feedback from all of you taking it in. So for example, I had the feedback that there weren't enough pads, so we've now changed the ratio again. If you're still not happy with the ratio, please let me know and I can work with estates to get the ratio right so that we cater the right things for everyone. I also supported the Ukraine donation point. This is completely run by students, and all I did was some work in the background to make sure they've got the space, they've got transport and everything. If they also sell these little cute pins for, I think it's 50p or £1 to donate to the Ukraine appeal. If you have something that you want to collect donations for or things, you know that we are here for you. We are here to support you with that. We can provide the space, we can try and provide transport to places and stuff like that. So please, 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 if you've got something that is close to your heart, please reach out and we can help you set up your own donation point as well. I had lunch with Alex George where I discussed student well-being after the pandemic and how the pandemic has impacted student well-being. At the Space Park launch, Georgia, Ariane and I met Major Tim Peake, which was amazing. Rhiannon and I have been working on reinstating Me Too on campus, and we've had 2 meetings so far with campaigners, but we're probably going to have more so we can gather more information about what direction you want the campaign to take. If you want to become an activist and fight against sexual violence and unacceptable behaviours on campus and make campus a safer, more inclusive space, please go to the link in my bio and you can still join the campaign, become a campaigner. We're gonna go completely back next year, so we're trying to set everything up right now, have the directions and everything, and be got back by September, so you still have time. We've also reinstated all of the social medias, so make sure you follow us there. And yeah, we're looking for committee members for Me Too on Campus, so sign up at the link in my bio, and I can't wait to work with you. Thank you, Carly out.
Hi, my name is Rhiannon, my pronouns are she, her, and I'm your Students' Union President, and I'm really excited to be continuing next year as well as your Students' Union President. But first, I'm going to talk a little bit about what I've achieved this year in the last semester. So, first of all, my biggest project has been Sticky Campus, which brought together students and staff to look at one of the big issues facing universities across the sector at the moment, which is the question, why aren't students staying on campus? So we looked at what we could provide for you to make sure that we make campus a safe and fun place for you to come to, and what barriers might be to accessing campus. My other biggest piece of work this semester has been working on the planning process with our Chief Executive Officer and the University's Registrar and Secretary, Jeff Green. This looks at what budget that we'll be receiving from the university, and we work to ensure that we're getting as much as we can to deliver to you students. So some of the stuff that I'm really happy to be able to deliver this year, because the university have given us the amount of money that we requested, is we are going to be able to introduce an Arts and Media Parity Fund, add investment work to student groups with more details to come over the year, and provide increased support for support and representation, which are two of our other essential parts of the Students' Union. Recently, I've also been facilitating the handover to the new executive officers alongside our Campaigns and Democracy Coordinator, Megan Robertson. This means that we've been able to streamline the university induction to make sure that when the officers start on July the 1st, they're as ready to go as possible. Lastly, I'd really like to say that I'm really proud of the work that Green Bubble has done over the entire year, but especially this semester. I'm really proud to see that their efforts were rewarded when they received the Best Student Group Collaboration at Students' Activities Awards this year. So finally, thank you very much, and I look forward to seeing you all at graduation.